Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to match day number 17 of the Russian Premier League. Zenit St. Petersburg were traveling to Moscow to take on Lokomotiv Moscow, who are about top 5, top 6 in the standings, and we were number 1 in the standings. So it was going to be an important match for us, and to also build a very, respectful, a really, good amount of points from Krasnodar, because Krasnodar, they're also putting a lot of victories, so we really needed that victory to establish some comfortness in the standings, and also to defend our championship with having a little bit of cushion to relax. But once again, we lost 3-1 at away match, and it's a tough one. It's a really tough situation. It's a tough match, and I don't even know where to start from. To be honest, I'm frustrated with this match itself. Let me just start off by talking about the weather itself. Um, I know it's a lot of snow. I know, like, there's the same weather. Bayern Munich in Germania, like, they had their match, like, basically postponed. They were supposed to take on Union Berlin, but even in Germany, they canceled, like they postponed that match. But in Russia, it's normal, like, it's a country that has snow every single year, and there's a lot of centimeters, a lot of inches of snow. So I've seen plenty, like, along the years when I first started following Russian football. I've seen that Russian clubs can easily play. They can easily play in snow. I've seen it with all other clubs, and it's always. I think that's what makes Russian football more special compared to other clubs, because other clubs with their countries and South Americans, like, they don't even have snow over there. So a lot of our lads, like, Claudinho, Wendell, Gustavo Mantuan, and Duqueros, they came here. Probably got it, like, they came to Russia, and they probably got a culture shock. They were like, "Holy, we never saw that much snow in our lives." So for some it's different, but for any Russian club, like, compare it, like, I don't think that's a big of a deal. I mean, of course, like the snow always hits the lungs when you play football, but it's part of the season. That's the season has never changed. Like, the season always takes place on the same time. If it snows or not, that's up to you. That's up to the teams. They're athletes. They should be able to be practice and to be ready for these type of weathers, and especially knowing the climate and the weathers in Russia. So they have no excuse. On the other hand, I will say that the staff that were responsible to make the pitch and get the pitch ready for today's match and to get it ready for its appropriate time, I felt like there was a level of unprofessionalism for them, because the match was delayed for a few minutes, so it did not start on time. But I will add that weathers like these, like today, it is unpredictable, so it makes, like their job harder. But it's still their job. It's still their responsibility. Like they are professionalized. They are hired to do that specific job. And they're professionalized in taking care of the pitch. So I was expecting just a little bit more of a better pitch, and I should have been ready on time. But at the same time, I can't really hardcore blame them 100%. Like, it's not entirely their fault, but there's still a level of unprofessionalism, and the pitch was not good at all in the start. But when they finally got it prepared, it wasn't that bad. But there's still a lot of, like batches of water, and it was a lot of, like, areas on the pitch where, like, football was made really harder to play on. But like this type of snow today, it was a really tough one, and of course it's really difficult for football. So that's my reaction for the weather part. And I did see the weather that in Moscow it was -7, -6, around that weather. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like, I think Russia has seen much worse. Like, -10, minus 15, minus 20. That's where things get really, really difficult. And I would even side that the match should be postponed. I do care about every single player's health as well. I don't want them catching cold or even like the worst of the worst, catching pneumonia. That could be really extremely, extremely dangerous. But I feel like a minus 5 or minus 6 is not that bad. They are all used to it. Even here where I am in Canada, like it's not even that bad. Like minus 5, minus 6 for us it's totally normal. So I feel like, in a more of a northern country like Russia, they're also very, very used to these type of weathers, and especially if they're athletes, they're even more used to it because the Russian Premier League have been playing in these type of weathers and in around this time for years. So why will you change the time now? It's always been it's part of the Russian Premier League now. So that's my extended reaction on the weather. Now talking about the match, it was disgraceful. It was really extremely disgraceful performance, and Lokomotiv Moscow also had to play in hard weathers. It doesn't make we don't have any excuse for us. In St. Petersburg, like we have these high weathers. So what's our excuse? So we lost 3-1, 3-1, but we got dominated all game long. We got dominated all game long. That's my reaction. We got dominated all game long. Defensively, offensively, we actually got lucky that we got a goal. We actually got lucky. Casiera, I've learned from today's match that this season, Casiera is our savior. Like without Casiera, like we wouldn't have a goal. It would be probably like 3-4-0, 4-4-0, 5-0. I don't know what score. But we got absolutely destroyed, and it was a horrible match, and our defense looked even worse. That was like one of the worst defense we've ever looked in the past few games. I mean, we have looked really, really bad, but today we looked horrible. We looked deflated. We felt like we were just pylons there. I felt like there was no need to put any defense. We got absolutely exposed, and we got just destroyed, and no passion, no mindset in this club, man. I don't understand what needs to be done, because today, I mean, Lokomotiv Moscow, they're like what, 5 or 6 in the standings, or maybe higher. I forgot to check them where they're at now in the standings. We fell back to second place, but it's gonna get much worse. And I've also learned that even in the rain, I've realized that it's not just because of the snow, but also in the rain, we play really badly. Every time there's a bad weather, our boys just start trembling. They start just playing bad football, and they just forget how to play football. And it doesn't make sense to me. And I understand snow, it can be difficult for some, but rain, every footballer in any country, rain for them, it's nothing. It's not even hardcore rain. As soon as it rains, as soon as it's different weather from a sunny day, Zenit just starts crumbling, and our mindset just falls off, and it feels like we forgot how to play football. It's just so frustrating, so frustrating. But I will say the only good part of today's match, the only person that I was really happy about was Gasiera. At least he got his goal, and he keeps scoring more and more goals for us. And Strahinja Rakovic, who really impressed me with his physicality, and the play that he made to make that pass to Gasiera was beautiful. Just using his pure strength, and he has good level of power. He's really one of our best defensemen. One of our best defensive players. He's doing an amazing job this season, and I'm not gonna take away any glory from Alip and Kragavoy, who also played some good matches, and Douglas Santos as well. But today they were not brilliant at all. They were all should be held responsible for today's performance, and also Rodrigo. I feel like Rodrigo was not. He was really sloppy today. He was really slow, and his head was not in the game, and he should not have started the match. I don't know why Sergei Simak put him as starter, because he played really, really badly today. That's my opinion. I love all my boys, but I'm really brutally honest as well. From what I've seen, our defense crumbled, but all of our teams crumbled as well. There was no offensive pressure. There was no mentality from Andre Mastavoy, from Claudinho, from Wendell, from even our midfielders, our defense, even Kirjakov. Kirjakov had a terrible match. Kirjakov, the man who is one of the best goalkeepers in Russia, even he crumbled. Even he had a terrible match, and the goals that he gave, especially on the corner, that was really bad. That was just really bad. Already in the 7th minute, like the goal that we gave was so soft, so soft. And then the two other goals that they scored, that was just really just brilliant. Lokomotiv Moscow, they destroyed us. They did one hell of a job, and they played some very, very classy, elegant football, and the goal they scored were just very, very beautiful. And I'm not even gonna come here and hate on them. Even as an opposition, there was some beautiful football that were played by them, and they were just all over us. They dominated us, and their goals were just fantastic. It was just so classy. It was just so class and so beautiful to see. And on the other hand, Zenit looked terrible. Looked terrible. Basically, we came to Moscow to embarrass ourselves. And lastly, I will like to mention how disappointed I was in Wilson Isidore. I was expecting a big game from him, and we did face his team, his club that loaned him to us. So I was expecting him to at least know how to dominate his club. He's not even permanent deal with us. It's not even like he's facing his former club, because he's still signed over to Lokomotiv Moscow. He's still Lokomotiv Moscow's man, but he's just on a loan with us, and he came this season, like in the middle of the season. So it's been like it's been a whole year that he's been with us. He's been with us for a few months, and it's not even been that long. So it's not like Lokomotiv Moscow changed their whole system, and Wilson Isidore does not understand anything. And and he had no impact on the match. I was really, really surprised. But man, it was so frustrating to see Wilson Isidore not being able to do any impact on today's match. I was deeply expecting a big match from him, at least a goal or two. Just to show that Lokomotiv Moscow did a big mistake to let Wilson Isidore on loan. They should have kept him. But no, I think Lokomotiv Moscow, they're actually happy because Zenit is paying for his contract, and he played a terrible match against them. So now the winners in this deal is Lokomotiv Moscow. So honestly, that's my whole reaction. I don't think there's anything else to say. Just disgraceful. We cannot play in any type of weather that includes snow, rain, or cloudiness. We can only play in good weather that's just established for us. And then I've also learned that Kasiera and Ivan Sergeyev, there are our survivors, our saviors. Not even survivors, saviors. They are basically saving this club day in, day out. And Mastovoy has showed some promise. Krogovoy has showed some promise. Strahinja Irakovic, he is our savior defensively. Alip is not that bad. Douglas Santos, he's okay, but he plays some bad games oftenly as well. This season, he hasn't been too bright either. And then who did I miss? There's a few players that I don't really know much. I don't have made my mind yet. I want to see them play more, because we still have a full season ahead of us. We still have 10 to 12 more matches left. So a lot of things can change. We still have a season that we're underway. But honestly speaking, we're gonna get destroyed. I don't like the thing. I don't like the feeling of it. I feel in the Russian Cup, in the Q Book, and even for the league title, we are gonna lose really, really badly. And winter just started in Russia. So it's not even done. Winter just started in Russia. So keep that in mind. Like we are in deep trouble. Our performances will fall off even worse. That's my prediction, you know. Of course I don't want to see them that badly, but of course we're gonna get some good points against, smaller clubs, clubs are fighting relegation. We are gonna maybe gonna win, a few matches against them, but against big clubs like CSK Moscow, even our biggest rivals Spartak Moscow, Krasnodar, Lokomotiv Moscow, Dynamo Moscow, we are gonna get destroyed by them in the following days. That's my prediction from the things that I've seen, from what I've seen from Sergei Simak, from what I've seen for the quality of football that Zenit has produced in the last few days, in the last few games, we are gonna we are gonna go into terrible, terrible trouble, and things are not looking good. So let's just hope that Zenit wakes up. That's my only wish, because now we need big prayers, and we need, I don't know what we need to wake these lads up, because we are struggling so bad. Our quality is not looking good. So let's just see what happens. Honestly, let's just focus on next game. I would suppose that's the only good thing I can say. Just focus on next game, and practice harder. Practice harder. Sergei Simak, I'm starting to have doubts on him as well. I don't know if he's a man anymore. His mentality in the last few games has been so soft. It feels like he has just no passion anymore for the club, but he's still a legend at the club. Like he's still one of our best managers. He is in the history books. But at the moment and going forward, I don't know if he's the right man for the job. We will see at the end of the season, and I'm starting to have some doubts on some of our players as well, like Claudinho, Wendell, Barrios. I'm starting to have doubts on them. I don't know if they're quality anymore. A lot of the Zenit fans are saying to sell them. I kind of slowly am starting to agree, but I still want to give them a whole, like a full season to see how they will truly play. And let's just give this whole club, this whole squad a full season, and then we can fully make our minds. That's what I think. But at the moment, I am agreeing that the fact that the quality of like all the Brazilians on in our squad, like Duqueiroz, Wendell, Barrios. I mean, I know Barrios is not Brazilian, but like a lot of like these players, like Claudinho, Barrios, Wendell, like their quality has dropped a lot. And the thing is, the match comes to them, and they always fall under pressure in the last few games. So if they don't pick themselves up now, like things are starting to be very troubling for them, and alert and red light has been on for them, and they need to pick up right now. They need to wake up right now, because they're going to be in deep trouble as well, from us, the fans, but also from the club and the management. So let's just see what happens. Let's just keep on focusing. I suppose that's the best thing I can say. I still have love for my boys. I still have love for Zenit. So I won't give up on my squad. So that's just love criticism. That's what I would say. So spasiba to all. Very disgusting 3-0 loss. I'm just disgusted by today's loss. That's my reaction. That's my full honest reaction. So, but I still want to appreciate you all for tuning in. Spasiba, Slava Zenit. Have a great night, everybody. Bye bye.